Yes.
Mm, mm. Give
I
people
love that
a
people are already commenting
minute or two.
and
Oh, look at that.
doing all that stuff. Okay. Hey, hey.
You know, 50 Cent is problematic right now. Maybe not the best choice. Maybe not the best choice, but hey, we'll see. All right, we're gonna give people just a minute or two. I'm excited to get into this conversation.
Meat.
Well, so I say I'm excited because I'm a podcaster, and that's what podcasters say. But
Mm-hmm.
truthfully, and I think that this may resonate with other people, nervous in a way. Like,
That's
and
fair.
nervous is probably not the full word, but like, talking about money, there's like a spectrum of comfortability talking about money. And I am the type of girl, like, I absolutely believe in salary transparency. Like, you can know how much I make, I can know how much you make.
Yes.
When it comes to some of the things we're going to get into today, it just feels like, what is it? The word being like intimidating. I think that's the word. That's the word.
That's fair though. That's fair. I just think that like over my lifetime, I just feel like I've just gotten a little bit more comfortable with it because I
Yeah.
agree that I think that generally speaking, it is anxiety provoking to even be speaking about money. And it just, I just think also just like people, we don't talk about it enough, but then
Yeah.
when we start talking about it, we don't know what we should be talking about. Like there are so many like hidden things about it. So it's just like, yeah, we've been screaming from the rafters. Let's talk about our salaries, but it's like that's only a sliver.
That's a
of it.
sliver. That's a sliver. And it's so funny that you just explained it that way because, some behind the scenes, even as in us, like, unscripted is unscripted. We have a flow in how we converse. But obviously we have a general like idea of what we're gonna talk about. And it's like, well, dang, what part do we talk about? Because financial literacy is just so many things. And I think our main focus today is that financial literacy is going to look different, like at this ripe age of 32. It looks different than when I was teaching third graders financial literacy in my 20s. And just
Ooh.
even the time is different because I was pre-pandemic, and now Trump is in this war with Iran, and all these things are just intertwined in what it really means to be financially literate. Not now.
Yeah.
Why would I stutter on
No.
saying literate?
Happens to the best of
Woo!
us. Happens to the best of us.
That is too funny.
Yeah. So I guess we could go ahead and kick us off. I will go ahead and start it. You have now joined the Education Evolution and you're watching Unscripted. And we will go ahead and say Unscripted Live. So this is a podcast for the thinkers, the doers, and those who know the most important lessons aren't always taught or learned in school. So we're super happy to have y'all here.
Yes, I'm Lindsay, affectionately known as Miss Black.
And I'm Hadi Had, but you can call me Mr. Jihad.
If you're feeling the real ones know. The real ones know.
That's
We
a
ain't even
throwback.
the real ones know. That's like an insider club. Okay. Unscripted is the episode where we just get to really shoot the shit, y'all. Like, we don't have real notes. Like, there's no prep. It's just your lovely host talking back and forth and really encouraging you to do a lot of talking in the chat. So if you're watching live, when we ask y'all a question or you have a thought, just put it into the chat. This is not a Zoom meeting at work. This is not Teams at work where people are like nervous to say anything or ask a question. Like, no, we want to bring back conversation. Okay, let's bring that back. We are closing out Financial Literacy Month the right way, and we are going to be. I feel like I kind of already started, but we're being honest about our own journeys with money in real time.
Yeah, and I think Lens was saying this earlier, but like, let's be crystal clear. Nobody is walking in here with some type of I am completely financially literate, and I will be the first to tell you that that is definitely not me. And because let's be honest, that person does not exist. And what we're doing tonight here is really just showing up, and we're really trying to have conversation in a way that is educational. And so I'll say this again later, but This is an educational conversation. We are not investment professionals, and we are not here
No.
to give you
No.
any type of investment advice. Best believe you do not want it
Mm-mm.
from me. Uh, but because the language that we're going to be talking about, it does provide us a space so that we can know how to walk through life with the power and with the education that we need to make good decisions. And so we're not assuming that anybody already knows all of that information. So that's why you're
Mm-mm.
here. So let's get
That's
to
right
it.
here. That's right here. We're just having just a conversation. So to start our conversation, we want you to type this in the chat. We know it might take you a second to type it in the chat. That's okay. We're realistic. We're used to be teachers. Wait time. What is the first money lesson you remember learning, and who taught it to you? Okay, I'm gonna say it again. What is the first money lesson you remember learning, and who taught it to you? Was it your parents? Did you learn it out in the streets? Maybe trial and error? I do want y'all to type it in the chat. So let me go ahead and I'm doing better at this. I'm gonna put the question in the chat.
Look, go ahead, because that you're taking
Bam.
me back to COVID days where I definitely should have been going ahead and throwing that chat question into the chat where one person's speaking and the other person is running the logistics. My
Right,
bad.
and the days before that, where I taught and I had to speak and do all the logistics and take attendance. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they
Yes.
really, they really
Yes.
made it make sense. I know for me,
Yeah.
my first money lesson was don't touch nothing in the store.
Ooh, that's a good
that's
one.
that's the first money lesson. Like, don't touch nothing in the store because everything costs money,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
you're probably not getting it because we
Yeah.
don't have money to be spending on that.
That's a
Like
good one.
that was just, if I really, because when I saw the question, I'm just like, dang, what was my first money lesson? But if I had to think about, and this one isn't first, obviously, it's just the most like memorable.
Hmm.
As a first generation college graduate, college student, because this is before I graduated, senior year, I'm getting accepted to college, and now I have to apply for the FAFSA. And my parents don't know. I mean, well, one of them knew what the FAFSA was. The other one whose information I had to use, I had to do all of the filling out. Dad, what's your social security number? What am I supposed to put here? What am I supposed to put there? What money am I actually getting out? What's a loan? Like, yeah, I know what the loan is, but like at the ripe age of 18, what is a loan and what does that actually mean for my future? Learn that on the back end. But that was, I feel like, the most memorable money lesson that I would see continue to play out.
That's yeah, and so I have lots of thoughts about what you just said because you just you gave me pieces, but I was like, let me go ahead and let's hit this chat so we can keep them engaged. Oh, okay, this is a good one. Money is energy. If you treat it well, it comes back to you with interest. Ooh, I like that.
Bingo.
I like that. I feel like I was just having a conversation about that today about the fact that you gotta give a little and it'll all come back tenfold. So whether or not
Yeah.
it's a cookie or
Yeah.
something that you might be taking your coworker and you're like, oh, okay, like I got this for you, but they add
Mm-hmm.
that extra thing that they didn't tell you about, but it's all right. It'll come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to the next one. I had a boyfriend who told me never to leave the house with no money, but that was way before Apple Pay.
Okay. And was he putting the money in your hand? Why you
Come
saying
on.
that?
Look, that reminds me of that Quinta Brunson, the skit that she used to always do back at the movie theater. And this is before Abbott Elementary
The one, the
days.
oh, you got money.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. I remember
Thank
that one.
you.
Oh, you got money. You getting a large? Mm.
You got money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to say is my first memory was about play money. Like I remember having those fake dollar bills and the fake
Mm.
coins and thinking that I had all the money in the world. So that is what I recall. And I remember trying to take it somewhere and that not going over well, but people just feeding into my ego and
Oh, that
making me
is
think
so
that I was actually
cute.
buying something when in reality I was not. So that's what
Oh,
I
that is
remember.
so precious.
Do you remember those
That's
days?
the building. Those are the building blocks, though. You know,
Yeah.
actually, like having the fake money. I feel
Yes.
like now it's bringing me back to like playing Monopoly, which I never enjoyed
Ooh.
playing. I
No,
never enjoyed playing. I don't remember being like, yeah, let's play Monopoly. But I also am not like, yeah, let's play Monopoly. Like right now,
that's
it's gonna
fair.
take
That's
3 hours.
yeah.
I do like telling people like, you know, go straight to jail.
Uh,
Don't pass go. Don't collect two hundred
don't pass
dollars.
go. Okay, right.
Don't. And it's just interesting because you know we are a podcast for the lifelong learner, and you know usually when I talk about being a lifelong learner, I'm talking about it like moving forward. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
learn something tomorrow, the next day, the next day.
Hmm.
But now I'm like thinking about it from like a retroactive perspective. And like I didn't enjoy playing Monopoly. I didn't understand really what it meant. But I know if you got all the blues, you owned all the blues in the Park Place, we paying you hella money. But now
Yes.
I understand what a monopoly actually is
Hmm.
and how it's illegal, I guess. I still feel like we have monopolies, but and then
Yeah.
I also know how expensive it is to live in New York, you know,
Hmm.
Park Place.
Yes.
So it's just interesting to like have had those seeds planted. And then when you actually have words to apply to these concepts, now you fully understand.
Absolutely. And this comment, talk capitalism in real time. That's exactly it. Like had I if I knew then what I knew now, like oh goodness, where I would be. But that's that's not what why we're here today. We're
That's
here
not.
to educate each
That's not.
other so that we
We're
can
gonna be
get to those
saying this in
places.
10 years too. If I knew what I knew,
True.
yeah.
True.
We're just gonna be saying it forever. But our kids will be better than us. They'll be better than us.
Yes, they
I
will.
want to just give everyone a quick reminder. And this may not be a reminder. This may be news to some people because I would like to see in the chat like how many of y'all have listened to an education evolution podcast on YouTube. There's no judgment. There's no judgment here. How many of y'all have actually listened to just a quick yes or no, you know, have a fun emoji. And for those that, you know, have listened to an episode, then you know that we have 4 episodes throughout the month. And we drop every Wednesday on YouTube. Hall Pass to the Real World is like week 1, where we talk about a current event through the lens of education. Lifelong Learning is week 2. That's the episode for the listener that sees an opportunity to learn something new in each and every day. Those that like truly proclaim to be lifelong learners. And last week's episode, which is the 3rd week of the month, was Tech Evolution. And that's where we discuss a new technological advancement to keep people up to speed in this crazy tech boom because things are moving real fast, real fast. And now you've landed here with us with Unscripted, which is our live episode that we have every 4th Wednesday. And we will be doing these lives on YouTube. We try Instagram, y'all. Instagram is real funny now. They got real funny. Sorry, not to derail us, but now they talking about you got to have 1,000 followers to go live. Who do you think you are? Remember where you came from. Like, anyways, this month's Hall Pass to the Real World is entitled "The Price of Everything," and it's out now. We actually have this linked in the description. Jihad digs into how interconnected the economies truly are, and digs deep into how the current war in Iran impacts us financially. Cough, cough, like gas being $6 in LA. And I saw $7.10 the other day
You've seen it. Oh
with
my
my
god!
own
I was
eyeballs.
looking for it. I promise you, I was because I
They were,
just knew
yeah.
it was going to exist. Because on the East Coast, like or before all of this, it was still in the 2s and the 3s, and so to hear 4s and 5s, it was
I don't know
just
why you
like
need to
every time
say
I came to
that. I don't
California,
know
I
why you
was
need to share
just
that.
amazed. I'm sorry.
I don't know why you need to share that. You could have kept that. 2s? You've seen a 2? I haven't seen a 2 in California. That might be
Yeah,
the
I know.
period. That might be the end of the sentence. That might be the end of the sentence. Oh my
That
God.
is true. Yeah, 2s in this year, 2026, before all of this. But yes.
What people aren't talking about is the gas stations that are closing down. Like,
Ooh.
that has not been enough of a conversation. I'm like, is it just me noticing it? But like, I've counted because I'm a counter. I counted 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
gas stations that have like, okay, this is what happens. It'd be 2, 3 gas stations on one corner. You know, you play that quick game of like, which one is 2 cents less? than the other one,
Yes.
right? And I'm like, I'm gonna go drive to that one. So I saw one. I said, oh my god, 458. And I'm driving up and I see that there's actually like the caution tape that's wrapped around it because the gas portion is closed, but it seems like some of them have the actual like store portion open.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I
Keep
mean,
it posted.
so in addition to private equity buying up all of the car washes and homes,
Fun facts. Okay.
they're also buying up all the gas stations, and so a lot of gas stations are no longer independently owned and operated like they used to be back in the day. So yeah, the private equity, blame it on them.
It's just everywhere. Okay. Y'all, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so now. We're pushing for 500 YouTube subscribers by the end of the month, 5,000 by the end of the year. So subscribe tonight. Tell somebody. Word of mouth is still, in my opinion, the most powerful tool that we have. So we'd love to see you subscribe. We love to see our listeners grow so we can keep this ball rolling.
That's it. That's exactly it. So yeah, so please subscribe, and also while you're here, there's probably a friend or two that's probably not doing anything right now. Go ahead and copy this share link and paste that into a text message just to get their eyes here. Maybe they want to be involved in this conversation tonight.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, I know I said this at the beginning of the episode, but I just have to make sure that we're all on the same page. We would love for y'all to go ahead and seek a professional for investment advice. This conversation is literally going to be for educational purposes only.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so just take that for what it is. And exactly, I'm trying to be as crystal clear as possible. But let's go ahead. None at all. Okay, so don't try to come suing us. But let's go ahead and get into today's episode or conversation. The thing that I do appreciate is when people are like so passionate about a topic that they're just like, let me go ahead and send you this question because I want us to talk about this. And so shout out to the folks who sent us some questions in advance because we appreciate y'all and we appreciate that. And so the first question that I wanted to talk or bring up today, it was sent to us by a listener, and it states, excited to hear y'all take on all things, but been thinking a lot about the American dream in quotation marks, which meaning home ownership. And if our generation can/will redefine what that is, especially as housing costs continue to skyrocket, but wages stay the same, should we be looking at alternative wealth building paths? So, for me, I love this question because I think it's something that not only do I talk about it with my financial advisor, but just with friends in general all the time. And the reason being that I think that graduated from undergrad, I had a dream of making six figures and thinking that that was going to be the kind of like diving board to get to the next space and be making enough money to like make a good living and, buy my parents a house one day, so on and so forth. Do all these amazing, incredible things because that's what I love to do. I love spending money on people as well as myself, but, people.
Yes, you do.
And that's just not it. It quickly dawned on me that American dream does not really take into account inflation, B, all these wars and tariffs and a administration that is really moving the goalposts on a daily basis. And so it's really helped me understand that I think that you have to take the American dream and define what that means for you. And so what I've been trying to be a lot more passionate about is setting financial goals and things that are within reach and that are realistic and practical, as opposed to just going based off of what society's notion of the American dream is. And what I mean by that is the American dream for me, it can be, okay, I want to have X amount of money, X amount of dollars in my 401k. Or it could mean that I want to have 6 months of expenses saved in a bank account so that it isn't the case that we're going through a lot of layoffs right now. So like, what does having an emergency bank account look like? And how are you being practical as opposed to just thinking that, okay, like I need to check this next box off the list, which is buying a home. So I've really been trying to step away from the American dream and more so spend time about defining what my American dream is. Because,
Hmm.
money doesn't go as far as it used to.
And it don't
Liz,
come,
what?
please.
Oh, and I really wish it
And I
does.
wish
I
it did.
really wish it did.
I
Um,
um
yeah.
I think that this, I'm very into like being intentional with the word, right? And like how we
Mm,
speak about things. And I think there's a difference between buying a home and home ownership
mm,
that doesn't get talked about enough because we just kind of minimize things. Oh, the American dream, buy a home.
mm,
But there are some situations where it actually doesn't make sense for you to be a homeowner. And I don't think that people think about the other side. One is so many convoluted steps to get a home. Okay. Then once you finally get a home, I think it's difficult for people to like adjust and realize that like you are the maintenance man. You know what I'm saying? You are the trash person. And not that you're doing those things, but you're the one that needs to know all those things. And so, do you know how to fix the toilet? If you don't know how to fix the toilet and it breaks within, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks, you now have to figure out, okay, I need to find a plumber. But now you're in it for life, baby. You need to actually find a good plumber that you have good relationships with. So I used to have this friend who was like, yeah, I'm gonna move here. And she had a kid. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna move to North Carolina. I need to get out of this city. And then she did more research and realized, like, do I have the wherewithal? I don't know if the roof collapses, something dramatic, right? But do I actually do I do I want to own a home and accept the role as a homeowner, or do I
mm.
really like the convenience of like I can call somebody when like my TV's not working? You know what I'm saying? Like these little things. Like maybe not TV wasn't the best example, but
I get what you're saying. Yep.
you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think that that's like an important part of the conversation. I think home ownership too. Okay, there's an oozing energy of individualism, and I just think it's America, but there's this space now where people are like, well, I'm going to buy a home. And so they're like, well, I'm going to buy the home on my own. And I do think that that makes sense for some people that have a
Hmm.
certain level of security, a certain level of
Yeah.
income, a certain level of whatever. But there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to buy a house. But what do you want to buy a house for? You know? Do you want to buy a house for your home and your like for your family? I think that this dream was also created on the basis of two people getting married and building together, not living off of. I want to make that clear because
Hmm.
I feel some type of way about people getting relationships to make
To
money
go.
problems go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but that's not what we're here to talk about. But when you're building something together, like I
Yes.
think it's okay for people to be like, you know what, I actually want to make that investment when I'm married. And that was the basis of this American dream anyway.
Yeah.
But we've kind of like strayed away from certain components or variables that like the puzzle pieces that fit into creating the American dream, which is why we have to redefine it.
Yeah. And you got me thinking. Let me post this question in the chat, and hopefully I did it. Oop, I don't think I did it right. I was going to post the next question in the chat, which is,
I'll do it,
would
Jihad.
you?
Don't you worry, babe.
Yeah,
Don't
see,
you
it's been
worry,
a
young
minute since I had
thing.
to do the multitasking thing, but I wanted to respond to what you were saying, which was, I think that something else that goes undiscussed or people don't talk about is the fact that, like, when you're moving to these different places, what does the opportunity look like when you're there? And the reason why I bring that up is, we're in a space now, present day, where the DMV area where I live, there's a lot of opportunity here, right? So like
Mhm.
I didn't move back home to, the Inland Empire because I was like, okay, there's DC, there's Maryland, there's Virginia. That's three separate economies that I
Yeah.
more than likely can get a job in some way, shape, or form. And granted,
Yep.
I was teaching, and so like there's tons, even more that you have access to.
Mhm.
And as far as job security, but we also have to be practical. Like, what industries are there? and something I didn't know until recently is like the community colleges that are in certain states or neighborhoods, typically they have workforce development programs or degree types that are based off of the fields that they need. And so, for
Mm,
instance, in Ohio right now, they're having this new boom for like the semiconductor industry. And so there's a lot of workforce development programs to help train people who are going to be working in that industry. And the same could
smart.
be said for people who are going to be working in um, auto building cars and things of that nature. So these are
Hmm.
things that you should be thinking about that you more than likely probably didn't know when you went and got that degree or when you went and graduated from high school. Like it
Yeah.
is a spectrum there. So I do think that that is something that needs to be discussed. And just to name the question, which is investments of all kinds automatically assume risk. Are there other ways? Of course, crypto is out there among others, but really just thinking what is for the everyday person. And definitely, we want to hear what y'all are A, either doing, B, have even thought about doing, C, have heard that someone is doing and that you think that you want to do that. So would love to hear or see your responses in the chat because that's what y'all are here for, to continue to talk to us. Please.
Tell him, Jihad. Tell him. I
What,
know for
what's your mind?
myself. I know
Yeah.
for myself, like investments be scary because of the risk, and the
Yeah.
risk is not even the problem. It's like the not knowing, like the ignorance of like, well, how do I invest? How do I decide what I invest in? Do I need to be a day trader? Do I need to really like do I need to go up to NASDAQ, and know how to really operate within the stock market? And I think and that's why we're here talking about this, because there's so many things to talk about in terms of like money and being financially literate. And I know that we can even like take it a couple steps back to when you get your first job that has 401k benefits, where your company is going to, well, you just have the opportunity to invest in the 401k. And then people also have the opportunity to get matched by like 3% or whatever percent, because it was just 3 when I was a teacher. But then I'm like, companies is really out here matching people. So I know for myself, like I do match with my 401k. I'm not confident I'm matching at the right percentage, and I know that there's advice out there what percentage you're supposed to be at and how you're supposed to increase. But then
Yeah.
you also have to take that advice, but look at it through the lens of like your own life. Like, do you have the money for this year to increase it?
Right.
Does increasing make sense if your company is not going to match to a certain percent? And then in my case, I also have a Roth IRA, which is an investment account, an individual investment account, a retirement account, excuse me, where there are tax-free withdrawals after you retire. But that's
Mhm.
because when I put the money in, it's already taxed. Like it's gonna,
Yeah.
you know. So, like, those are investments I had to learn, and I had to learn partially through you explaining that, hey, you should be investing in this. And then I'm like, okay, let me go talk to a professional,
Yeah.
and then figure it out there. So, like, I feel like, just the point of like financial literacy, just coming, like, building it brick by brick and having conversations and exposing yourselves to the education evolution
There you
and
go.
live podcasts, just to hear what other people are talking about. Because I don't know, like you said at the beginning, I don't know one person that knows everything. I don't
Yeah.
know one person that knows everything. And so I'm like latching on to the things that seem relevant to me right now at 32, but at 21, what should have been relevant to me now that I can retroactively think about it. And when I'm 40, what's going to be relevant? Like just the wide open scope.
Yeah, and so when you were naming the 401k, like the other piece of it is that like there's 401k, there's 403b, I want to say, there's a thrift savings plan if you're in the government. And so that's like that's a thing already. Like there's all these different types of names for it. Then B, to your point, there's contribution. And so one thing that I believe I said it on one of our episodes, I think it was called like financial survival during certain uncertain times or something like that. So definitely take a look and
Some
listen to that.
dramatic.
Right, exactly. But I just honestly, I think that in this administration, I just feel like I felt coming into it that these next 4 years were going to be very uncertain, very unstable, and
Mhm.
that's what I think that we have
Mhm.
been hit with between the tariffs,
Mhm.
between the war, and between the consistent investment in things that are not the American people. But like you say, another conversation for another day. But the premise that I and like the thing I was naming is, contribution. Like there are companies out here that will contribute 12% of your salary without you even needing to put anything into it.
Must be nice.
Okay. And so, like, why did I not know this? Like, why did I
Yeah.
have to find out about this
Yeah.
after I'm randomly listening to a podcast or randomly listening to the news and hearing? Well, no, by the way, it's me. I'm researching, so it wasn't the news. I was like, oh wow, this job description says 12%, and I don't got to give nothing. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Like, that's amazing. But going back to your other point around like knowing how much you should contribute. Michelle Singletary is, and she's somebody that I've for the last probably like year and a half, Black woman who writes in DMV, lives in DMV. I believe she writes for the Post, I want to say, and she has a financial column, and she's the person who set the number for me, which was
Mhm.
15%. The recommendation is 15% of your salary should be going towards your 401k, 403b, like whatever it is. And after I heard, and let me be clear, that 15% can be a combination of what your employer gives as well as what you contribute. And she explicitly named it. She said, let me be clear, like it's going to be rough initially. And you may not have the means to do it initially. And that is fine. Like work your
Yeah.
way to it. But like, here's the North Star. Let me give you something to work towards. Because at the end of the day, if you just given what your company is contributing and you thinking like, oh, okay, like we're good, and then you get to retirement and there's no social security now, and that's the
Mhm.
only means of retirement income that you have, that is going to hurt you. So
Yeah.
like I'm just very appreciative to even have been in conversations and rooms to be talking to people about like, okay, like what do you do, what are you doing with your benefits, and asking people those questions like based off of the benefits that and your coworkers,
Yeah.
your cool coworkers, I'd be talking to them because I want to know what y'all doing. Like what y'all doing with these benefits that we got, so I can maximize what I have. So
Mhm.
that you just was giving me, you gave me a lot of ideas just in regards to like who are the people that we should be thinking and looking up. And Michelle Singletary, she's the first person that comes to mind when it comes to like finances.
Mm. That's it. That's it. Oh, dang. I just had the thought. Oh, it's gone. Oh, that's nuts. That hasn't happened in a long time. Anyways, there's a good point in the chat. Consider buying a business as a long-term investment. And great idea for if that feels like it, tickles your fancy. There are literal apps, websites of people selling their businesses. And some
Mm-hmm.
of these businesses are like things that you would want to do. Like, let's see, for example, somebody was selling a game truck. So, like when you go to like a festival or something, like we have
Mm-hmm.
Black on the Block out here, they'll have a game truck where there's like TVs. I don't know, let me just say Fortnite is set up. And then so whoever's putting on the festival can pay you to be there. And then like kids come on for like 15 minutes at a time and they just play the games or like birthday parties. So like that's something that you can invest in that you don't necessarily have to build from scratch, right? Because sometimes we have business ideas and people think that they're, I want to be an entrepreneur, but they forget that you have to build something in order to entrepreneur.
Talk
Um,
about that, please.
so that could also be a good idea. It's like, and some of these businesses, it's not that they're like out of style or they're, I don't know, going bankrupt. Maybe they just decided they don't want to do the business anymore. Like maybe the wife of the business got pregnant and now their priorities are different. But that is also like a creative idea that I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about when we talk about financial literacy or like
Mhm.
building other streams of income.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I know a lot of B school, like folks who go to business school and graduate. There's been like this renaissance of them, instead of graduating and going to like a big tech company, they are graduating and going and purchasing different businesses, and like
Oh,
a
good.
laundromat, a car wash, and those types of things. So like you hit the nail on the head. you what Sorry, Lens, I missed what you
I just
showed.
did something. Yeah, truthfully, we still figuring stuff out too. But I realized you can actually click on the comment and show it. So we
I
do
love that.
have a comment just stating that there are also community organizations that have programs that can walk you through the process and actually help you with funds. There's so many programs. There's so many things to know.
Yeah, they are.
That's
They
why
are.
research is just so important because we just again one person would not know all this. One person
Correct.
would just not know everything.
And that's also what your employee assistance program is for, which is the
EAP.
acronym is EAP. Exactly. So
Mhm.
look into that, because people do not be using that to their benefit. And that there's therapy, free therapy sessions, life coaching. Sometimes they pay for tuition and all that stuff. So like, yeah, just look into that. Look into that.
Because you're paying for it.
Oh, in more ways than one,
'Cause you're paying for it,
financially
right?
and with your labor.
Right. Hello.
So, Linz, I know that one thing that we use, but probably, and that people talk about frequently, but there's no strategy that was taught, at least to me when I first got mine. Or,
Mm.
well, no, take that back. My parents did tell me, but I just, it's different when you actually have the thing and you're using it, and that
Yeah.
is credit cards. And
Cha-ching.
oh my goodness, like credit cards, a credit score, how much you should be spending on a credit card versus uh, should it be what's your utilization, and then how many credit
Yeah.
cards you should have, and how that impacts you applying for you trying to buy a new car, or applying to rent an apartment. It's just all the things. Oh my goodness.
It's
So
so
look,
many things and things that don't even like matter in other countries.
that's the crazy
Oh,
part. When I
you
found out
know?
about that, I was like, I'm sick. So they don't have
Sick. And I
credit
try
cards.
not to, sometimes ignorance is a little bliss. So I try not to dig too deep into the comparison because I'm not ready to leave the country. I am ready to leave the country. I'm not ready to leave the country. Yeah, credit cards. I feel like this is always what comes up. Like if we had to think, like pull one like common knowledge thing, credit cards or credit card debt is what people like talk about. Like, oh, maxing out a
Yeah.
credit card, so you got whatever it is. I know for me, because I was unemployed last year, baby, them credit cards was cha-ching, 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 just up real high, up real high. And I am somebody, ideally, I
Hmm.
want to put all of my monthly expenses on a credit card. Like, I don't even want to use my debit card. The debit card is just there to show me how much money is in the account. But I want to, or if I need to use a debit card, whatever. But I want to do all my monthly expenses on a credit card because if you get the right credit card for you, because I don't want to say right credit card because there's no right credit card necessarily, but like I have the Southwest credit card and I fly Southwest all the time. I fly so much that I get like a companion pass each
Okay.
year. So like me and I can switch it three times. Me and whoever can go anywhere for the price of one. They like ride with me for free. So for me, the Southwest credit card makes sense, and you get points every time you spend money on there, and those points you can apply to flights. Like I have the system
Yeah.
down.
You got it.
I have that system down. So that card works for me. But that card was working last year when I didn't have no income. Okay. It was working. And so this year, I got to a point where I'm like, I know that in my role, I'm going to get a lump sum of cash. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out like how much I actually want to spend on your credit card. Cause like the credit cards are made to have, they're made to have a balance. Okay. They're
Yes.
made to have a balance, at least for some amount of time. And so I was like debating, should I pay off the entire card or should I like what point do I get to where I pay this much off and then I can like pay incremental amounts to get all the way down. But
Yes.
I don't know where I got this information. Well, I do know where I got this information from. I just don't feel like saying it here. I was trying to get my utilization down to 30%. Okay. That's funny. Oh.
I'm sorry. Woo! All right, go ahead. Yes, utilization down to 30%. Okay.
Utilization down to 30% because that's the threshold that actually like moves your credit card, your credit score, excuse me.
Yeah.
So this is considered to be like the maximum threshold to keep your credit healthy at 30%. So, if you had a credit card of $1,000 limit, which is crazy, then you would want to get it down to 300. Although I believe that less than 10% is optimal, but remember, you have to be cognizant of what situation you're in. So if
Yeah.
I'm in a situation where I've been employed for years and years and years, yeah, my goal should be to be under 10%, at least for most of the year. But when you've been unemployed for a year, you have to give yourself a little grace. And that's where the flexibility and what financially literate really means comes into play. So I paid my credit card down to like 30% when I got my first lump sum. And then
Mm,
I was like, oh, this is actually way more manageable. And me thinking about when I'm budgeting for the month and I have my expenses, a payment to my credit card being an expense that's included in there so that I can
yeah.
pay it off by whatever amount of time. But I'm also in a role where I get lump sums of money because I'm in
Right.
sales. So
Yes.
all that has to be considered. If you're somebody who is getting 120 a year, but only in the calendar year, you might want your strategy should be different than mine
Yes.
because you're not getting thousands of dollars in one sitting. And child, I forgot about tax season because why do I always wait till the second week of April to do my taxes? I don't know. No idea. But I did my taxes and I got the tax refund in 2 days. And I was like, oh, well, now I can really, now I'm at this second lump sum where I can actually
Yeah.
pay these cards down. And so I'm just so grateful because I'm finally almost at a space where my strategy of not running up, doing all my expenses on my credit card and then paying them off by the end of the month can actually work because I finally at a place that feels like stable and what secure feels like for me in my role and
Yeah.
context of my life.
And I loved that you said that it's for you because the thing that I was thinking about the whole entire time that you were speaking was your utilization needs to be based off of you and your income. That's the reason why it's called utilization for you.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, I think that oftentimes, like, we're throwing the blanket number of 30% out there, but for you, it may be 15 or 10. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't have the means to be able to pay that off, probably shouldn't be going up to the 30%, especially if you have more than one card. So,
Especially. Like, don't play.
yeah. And so I just wanted to call that out. And something else that you pushed on that I wish I would have been intentional about is it takes strategy, y'all. Like it is not just one of those things to where you're just like, oh, I'm gonna pay that off. Like, no, like let's sit down, put that checklist and that budget together and go line by line. Okay, like what does
Yep.
paying this off
Yep.
actually look like?
Yeah.
Because it sounds good, but if because this is where I was honestly, is I was saying that I was going to pay it off and then I paid it off and then I realized, oh, wait, how do I continue to sustain
Oh, wait.
until I get my
Yeah.
next check? So
Yeah.
you really do have to have a strategy and a plan to make sure that you're being intentional and not just going based off a hypothetical budget. Like, look at, I even say go as far as to look at your bank statements for that month, which I've been told to do, which I've done that from time to time as far as like tax time and like business purposes. But
Hmm.
like how it is a very eye-opening experience for you to do an audit of how much money that you're spending in a month, as well
Don't
as
nobody want
looking
to do
at
that, Jihad.
the well, also looking at the subscriptions that you signed up for. And I think
Uh,
that you said this in one of the episodes too.
yep.
Like you need to know where this money, and sometimes people
Yeah.
will be
You're right.
pulling money
You're
out of
right.
your account that have no business
No,
pulling
you're
money
right.
out of your
You're
account.
right. We need to be
So
aware.
check it, please. I am begging you.
See how back and forth I've been in the last 45 minutes? You see?
Look,
This is
you're
the
in
problem.
denial. It's
This
okay.
is the problem with you people, including myself. Because what in the world? But it's true. And I want what I really want to, this is really what I wanted to say this whole time.
Please.
Because well, usually when we talk about financial literacy, a lot of people hear like budgeting, right?
Yes.
And there's so many different ways to budget, y'all.
Hmm.
Like some of you guys are girlies who want to have a full Excel spreadsheet, okay? And you want it to have functions and formulas and stuff, and you're gonna actually keep track after every month. I'm not that girl. I really tried. I think that like 1 year I tried for like 3 months, and that was enough for me. That was enough. Now I just know there's a certain amount of money I need to have in this space. Like when I am budgeting correctly, right, in those 3 months, this is how much I should have in my savings. This is what it generally should look like and what direction it should be going. And this is what my bank statement, my credit card statement should look like at the end of the month if it's just regular expensive and not anything else. And like basing it off of that, like some people have different checkings accounts for like different things or different savings accounts for different things. And
Yeah.
like that is a way that they visually budget that isn't an actual formalized budget sheet and except Excel spreadsheet and document. And I just wanted to name that whatever works for you. You should have some general idea of like budgeting and what money's coming in, what money's coming out. But I don't know. I feel like it's a conspiracy to force everybody to use an Excel document and Excel spreadsheet. See how I'm saying Excel document? You see? You see? No. Excel spreadsheet. See, that's why.
No, I feel you though, and I think that it's well. Hey, let me put this question in the chat so that y'all can be working on this as while I'm getting my thoughts out. Like, I really do think that, like, for me, it really was okay.
Mm.
You just need to put your monthly expenses into a note so that A, you remember that you need to pay these things, but B, so that you're on the same page of what's going out so that you see, okay, it is 85.99 a month for this internet, and the internet hasn't been working for the last 2 months. Oh, I need to be calling them because like there's that piece of it too. Like that is the adulting part that people also don't talk about. There are
Yeah.
people out here that owe you money if you're not getting the services that you are paying for on a monthly basis.
And one thing about
Okay.
Jihad, he's gonna get it. He's going to
Every
get it.
time.
He is going to
Every
get,
time.
and don't you dare mess up at a hotel. Okay? Don't you mess up at a hotel. He's calling corporate. He's gonna send a letter.
Oh my
But
gosh.
you know what? But that's another piece of being now we getting in the weeds. I love the weeds though.
Say
But
it.
like that is another piece of like being like conscious of your money and even when you go out.
Yeah.
Like for me, and I don't mean to like this might be real abstract for some people, but people there's two different types of people that go out to restaurants. Okay. There's people whose meal gets messed up and they still eat it. And then there's people like me who refuse to put a steak that is medium in my mouth if I ask for medium rare. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I won't do it. But that's because I understand the value that I am giving by paying for something. But I also understand like in a business plan, restaurants are assuming loss for
Hmm.
these regular customer occurrences. So
Hmm.
like you being like, "Oh, well, I don't want to give my drink back because like I feel bad." Don't feel bad, baby. Don't feel bad. Like they have a workflow and a system and a process for it that is rooted in their financial plan for their business. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
I'm not saying go to a restaurant and send everything back. I'm just saying if you really
Correct.
didn't get something, stop acting scary. That
Yeah.
irritates the mess out of me. Tell them you don't like it. Like you it's your hard-earned money that and you're it's an investment. But I think like understanding all of that, how money actually works, like people are considering revenue, but they're also considering loss. And these are larger entities. They don't give a damn that you sent something back that's $20. So yeah, I just think there's so many we getting real granular, so that means it's time.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. You know how we get. You know how we get.
Oh my goodness. No, I 1,000% agree. And as y'all can really tell, like this is a conversation that A could go on and on and on because financial literacy, it is not a destination. Like you don't wake up one day, as we said at the beginning, and you're like, whoo, all right, I got my degree in financial literacy. I am financially literate because
Yeah.
y'all know, like, there is something that we're learning on a daily basis. Like, crypto was just invented when I was in undergrad, or actually, probably not. Probably it was when we were in high school or something like that. But like, there are new things that are being created
Mm-hmm.
that we need to be mindful of. Like, we've done an episode, we've done a episode about Kalshi, the new prediction markets,
Yep.
and like there's just so many different things that have to go into financial literacy that you have to always be learning, always asking questions, and just making sure that you're interrogating the fact of like how much things are costing you,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not, don't let these people swindle you out of that you need this 1 gigabyte of internet service so that you, if you
Because
aren't
you don't.
working in person, and like just be mindful and think about the
Yep.
usage. And I would even argue to say start small for these like monthly expenses and stuff like that, so that you can see how it works for you, and then if you need more, you always can get more. But you ain't gonna probably call unless you are being inconvenienced. So I would say, so that's the reason why I say start small. But all that's to say, I really do want to say thank y'all for spending this last like hour and some change, or no, it's less than an hour, but hour with us. But before you go, I need y'all to do one thing, which is please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Send it to someone and let them know that they need to subscribe, because that's the only way that this word is going to get out.
Yep.
And with all the technology that we have with the artificial intelligence and all that good stuff, the only way that this is going to be known that this is a place and this is a space for community is by you sending it to someone who knows someone who knows someone. And
Excellent.
you know, let's really lean into that as we close out this month of financial literacy. And please continue to get the word out.
Get the word out. Financial literacy, y'all. Just remember, you know, because we only really remember about like 8% when we sit down and listen to somebody for an hour. But remember that financial literacy is not a destination. It's literally a practice.
Hmm.
And like just you showing up and being engaged in this conversation is part of that practice. Like you practice it tonight. So thank you for choosing to be here, for choosing to learn, you lifelong learners, you, because understanding this system is one of the most important things you can do for yourself and the people you love and like generations to come. So like whatever you learn now, the energy and the knowledge doesn't stay with you. Like it gets passed on to your friends, it gets passed on to your children, and it just it gets passed on to strangers. Like somebody said earlier on, like money is an energy, and the more that we give this energy out, the more that we get, we will receive. So just remember that as you go, and can't wait to see you next time.
Thank y'all. We love y'all. Until next time.
Bye.